kind of feel like you.
Well, thank God you don't look like me.
This is true. All right, Pops, who are we sponsored by? Who's sponsoring today's video? Who is purchasing on our behalf all of our black t-shirts?
Find your best deal school. No, find your best car price at findyourbestcarprice.com. No?
Nope.
Find the best car price. Find some kind of car price. Find a car
price.
Yeah.
Find the car.
Yeah.
Prices of cars that are the best.org.
Whatever.
Do you think we get even paid for this one at this point? I don't even know if we're going to get paid for this.
I don't think so. I wouldn't have the nerve to invoice Jeff for this one.
Findthebestcarprice.com/insider. If you click on the link down below, we'll put it up on the screen. There's a start here button. It's got a car buying guide. Definitely give that a look through. There's no forms or anything there. It's just a buying guide. So take a peek. Findthebestcarprice.com/insider. Link down below. Nice try, Dad. We are going to invoice for this one.
Sorry, I screwed it up so bad this time, Jeff. But I promise to nail the next one.
There it is. You've got his word. Okay, so Dad, here's what we're talking about today. Probably a relatively quick hidden video, but I think it's a topic that we haven't done enough on our channel discussing, which is peer-to-peer buying and selling. We talk a lot about the dealership experience, which makes sense, right? I mean, you work in the dealership setting for 40 plus years, so we have a lot of, a wealth of your knowledge to draw on there. But the reality is a lot of transactions, a lot of car buying and selling happens peer-to-peer on your Facebook Marketplace or your Craigslist. And a lot of the aspects of buying and selling cars are similar between a dealership and peer-to-peer. And so I just kind of wanted to have a conversation with you, and we'll title the video something like, the 3 things you need to know before you buy a car peer-to-peer, something like that.
Okay.
I want to hit on a few of the key concepts or key things. If you're going to buy a car, you're seeing an ad on Craigslist, you're seeing an ad on AutoTrader, whatever it is, some things that you should be having in the back of your mind. Imagine you could go with someone to buy that car with them. What should they know? What should they be thinking about?
Well, the first thing that they'd want to know, and they need to find out, is they need to make sure that the person selling the car really is the person that can sell the car. They need to see a title and registration that shows that person as the owner of that vehicle, because you can't. Well, I guess you can sell a car that doesn't belong to you. I don't know what the legalities of that are, but you need to make sure that you're actually buying the car from the person who owns the car. It's the same thing that we used to do at the dealership. Couldn't trade a car that was from Steve Smith if the car was really titled and registered to his sister, Mary Smith. It wasn't Steve's car to trade in. It was Mary's car to trade in. So you need to make sure that whoever's selling the car is the person that owns the car and actually has the ability to sell the car. And look at the title. And if the person selling the car is Bill Jones, but the title's in the name of, Mary Smith, but Mary Smith is signed off the back of the title, well, guess what? Bill Jones needs to go put that title in his name so he actually has the proper authority to sell the car. Can't jump title like he's trying to do. So that's the first thing you want to do. You want to make sure the person selling the car is the person who owns the car, that it's their car to sell. You also want to do a CARFAX, and if you don't feel like spending for a CARFAX, get the VIN number and ask your insurance agent if he can run the VIN number and see if he can find any information about the VIN in any of their databases to see if it might have ever been in an accident or ever had a branded title. So that would be the second thing that you would want to do, at least in my world. And the third thing, other than you driving it yourself and you inspecting it yourself, is to make arrangements to have an independent mechanic look at the vehicle. And if the seller won't allow you to take it to a mechanic, well, then you don't want to buy that car. You want to go buy a car from a seller that has nothing to hide and is more than willing to let you take a vehicle to a mechanic. Or maybe they go with you to take the vehicle to the mechanic. I can understand where they might not just want to give you the car so you can take it, but you need to make sure you get a pre-purchase inspection done. And if they won't allow it, go buy somebody else's car.
Yeah, and your comment there just reminded me of 2 videos that we've done. One is obviously, and more power to if you can try and point to it on the screen, Dad. I love that.
Well, it's going to be in one of those corners. I just don't know which one.
I think we might do that for the thumbnail, and it's just like a picture of you being like,
yeah. I feel like Cam Newton almost.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah.
This is very true.
Yeah.
I was going to say, the pre-purchase inspection video, where we have a video talking about pre-purchase inspections, give that a watch if you're going to buy any used car, and in particular if you're going to buy private party or from peer-to-peer.
Yeah.
The other video that you're reminding me of, Dad, is the video we did on car buying scams. And we probably should do some more follow-up videos on other kind of common scams that happen. Mm-hmm. But your point of like, if the seller doesn't want to let you take the car to a mechanic to get inspected, that's a red flag. If the seller tells you, hey, pay for this in Western Union money orders or gift cards. Like, no, these are red flags. These are things, we chuckle, but like, don't do it. That is a big red flag. And these are considerations that when you are doing private party, you actually, and like the title thing, you really do need to keep that in mind. Because if you go even to like a pot lot, a mom and pop, independent car dealership, like, knock on wood, but that stuff should be ironed out, right? You should be able to pay and get your financing or whatever it is, or pay with a check and whatnot. And the title will be in, the right person's name. But to your point, Dad, when you're doing private party, you got to be a bit more thoughtful about kind of some of this, what I'll say is like fundamental stuff when it comes to buying a car.
Oh, absolutely. There's no shortage of people in this country trying to take advantage of other people in this country. It happens all the time. There's scams all the time, whether it be phishing expeditions that you get in emails or on texts on your cell phone. Whatever it is, there's somebody out there that's trying to take advantage of somebody else. And you want to make sure you're not that somebody else. You want to arm yourself with as much knowledge and information so that you can protect yourself from becoming that person that gets taken advantage of. One of the things you hear me say all the time, if it sounds too good to be true, it's because it is too good to be true. Somebody's trying to paint too rosy of a picture to get you to do something that you shouldn't do. So, I like to say sometimes it just boils down to common sense, but the problem with common sense is it just doesn't seem to be all that common. But educate yourself, be knowledgeable, be aware of the things that people are trying to do so that you don't fall prey to it yourself. The worst thing in life is being taken advantage of. And I don't want to see any of our viewers or even non-viewers ever be taken advantage of. Life's tough enough. You don't have to be stealing from other people and make their lives more miserable than, life can already be for a lot of people.
So to recap, to put a bow on it, you're going to want to confirm that the title is in the name of the person who's actually trying to sell the vehicle.
Yes.
They're not trying to jump the title. They haven't unscrupulously gotten the vehicle, whatever it may be.
Well, they could have. I know a young man who, for a very brief period of time, kept the title to his Volvo in his car. Okay, and a title is a negotiable instrument. So if somebody would have stolen that Volvo, they would have had the title to that Volvo, and they could turn around and try and sell the Volvo with that title. It wasn't theirs to sell. So you need to make sure that the title's in the person's name, because you might end up buying a stolen automobile, and once it's discovered that you bought it, they're taking it away from you through no fault of your own. Well, it would be fault of your own for not making sure that
leaving the title on the car.
Yes. So that's one of the reasons you want to make sure the person selling it is the person who's on the title.
Number 2 is get the CARFAX, or if you don't feel like doing the CARFAX, contact your insurance company, your agent, and give them the VIN number and see what they're able to pull. They're able to access more information than you or I could just from a Google search or even from the CARFAX. So do that. And then number 3, like you said, is get a pre-purchase inspection done. It's a relatively small investment compared to the purchase you're making, and it gives you the peace of mind. It's an absolute requirement, especially if you're going to be purchasing. Not even especially any used car, peer-to-peer or from a dealership. Get a PPI.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Just a pre-purchase inspection, just so you get another set of eyes to look at the vehicle. And if you do those 3, then chances are you're not going to fall prey to any nefarious activities and get caught up in anything like that.
That was also a big word. I am proud of our thesaurus.
You know, and for a guy that barely graduated high school, completed 1 year of college, maybe 2, I can't keep track, went to advertising school. Sometimes I amaze myself at the size of my vocabulary for such a simple-minded guy.
I'm trying to think of a big word to use to kind of sum you up, but nothing is coming to mind. So I'm just going to say you're pretty cool, dude.
Well, I appreciate that, and I prefer Dad to dude, but what are you going to do?
All right, Pops. Well, I appreciate your time. Thanks for doing this. Hopefully this helps some folks out there, and if it doesn't,
well,
sorry.
Then they were beyond help, but we tried. We're doing our level best. Thanks, Zach. I enjoyed talking to you.
All right, love you, Dad. Catch you later.
Love you too. Bye-bye.